Hello and welcome to the St Kilda and Bayside report. It is April 2022. I'm Gary Peer.
I'm Jeremy Rosens. How are you, Gary?
I'm really well. Good to see you.
Do you know what? This is actually our first
post-COVID
Bayside little TV thing, Gary.
Well, we haven't been able to do it for a while. We would have had to do it on Zoom and we chose not to.
No, I don't think that would have worked.
But, you know, it's good to be back in front of our viewers. And I've got to say that it's been a very interesting time. We're going to look back to the whole 2021 lockdown COVID experience. And, you know, there was a time where we couldn't show any houses. We couldn't even open anything. That was pretty scary. But the market, wow.
I don't want to talk about COVID, Gary. I don't want to talk about COVID. No. I don't even want to talk about 2021.
Okay.
Because today is about 2022, but most importantly,
and the Carlton Football Club.
And the Carlton Football Club.
Yep.
Gee, are we up and about? We'll just put a lid on it though, Gary, because we might have to be, for those that are thinking about listing in September,
yes.
Well, yours and my availability might be difficult in the last weekend. I don't want to put it out, just put it out there.
Yeah, good, possibly, but if that's not a setup to get smashed down, I don't know what is. Let's get back to real estate because people do want to watch the show. Let's talk a bit about the mood of the market. You know, we haven't recorded for a while, but 2021 was an interesting year. And when we look back even to 2020, and you know, you recall that pre-COVID, we had the Treasurer Josh Frydenberg stand up and say, look, we could be coming to a recession. Then we had COVID and all of the lockdowns, and things look so grim and so miserable, so dark and kind of
sad and sorry. Scary time for a lot of people also.
But then, you know what? The market just was so resilient and so strong. And of course, the last thing we expected to happen happened. Prices went up. And that was extraordinary. We saw that through particularly the end of last year. We had a frenzied spring selling season.
Strong right through late September all the way through to deep December, Gary.
Right
like never
December.
Before.
No, there was no holidaying for us late December. It was work. And of course, this year the market's opened up a little bit more subdued, a little bit more balanced. Prices plateaued, would you say?
I think the reference to balanced is probably the best reference you can make, Gary, because we've come off that sort of rise at the back end of 2021, and 2022 has started in a kind of a comfortable area. So there's probably a little less depth of buyer activity. But what's interesting is that although there's less buyers bidding, it feels like, in terms of the average, I think the prices are still very steady, very strong, and they line up quite well with last year's price. So I don't think that there's a decline in value, but there's certainly a sort of a back step in buyer activity and depth of interest.
And a plateauing of price, it seems.
No question.
People no longer seem to have FOMO. People were bidding late last year with a fear that if they missed out, they would have to pay more the week after. That kind of sentiment's left, although the very best properties, the rare properties, are still being fought tooth and nail for, which is interesting as well.
Whether the market goes up or down, good property, Gary, always is keenly contested because it's good property for a reason.
And I've got to say also, you know, growing up as I did, a little bit, in a different decade to yourself.
Well, I haven't grown up yet, Gary, that's the key.
Well, neither of us really grown up, but different decade to yourself. You know, we heard about people making money in property when interest rates were low. Now, interest rates are low now. If we look to the future, we make some predictions, and you know, we're just salesmen. We're really not economists. If we were any smarter, we wouldn't be real estate agents. But the reality is, we know that there's inflation looming and likely to come, and of course, there's also the international borders opening up. So it would be a reasonable prediction that property prices will go up again. Now is a time, and I was saying when I grew up, we heard about people making money when interest rates were low. The hard part was getting the deposit. If you can get the deposit and buy and pay off with the low interest rates, you're set to go. So I would encourage buyers who are hesitant or vacillating, do I buy, do I not, jump in. Don't wait for property prices to go down, because I don't think they will, and they'll go up again sooner or later. You heard it here first, April 2022.
That's our tagline, Gary. When is the best time to buy property?
Do I buy now? Yes.
Well, you know, I think you've articulated that perfectly. When money is cheap, that's when you should grab it all, because invariably it's all going to go up at some point.
Do I stay or do I go now? That was a song. I don't know if you remember or know the artist, and I don't either. But if you do, just
maybe this become a show about music, Gary.
Oh, I'd always love some music.
Let's stick to what we know, Gary.
Put in on ideas@garypeer.com.au the answer to do I stay or do I go now, and we'll send you some tickets, some gold class tickets.
I'm going to give you an idea for this, Gary. How about we talk about real estate?
Yeah, okay, let's do that.
How about we talk about some of the listings that are coming up, Gary?
There's some juicy ones coming up, Mr.
Rippers,
Rosens. And we've got, I mean, one of my absolute favourite homes. It's actually like a, it's a what's the right term? It is a
Trophy home?
Trophy home. It is a landmark.
A landmark property.
That's the word I was looking for. 25 Balaclava Road, St Kilda East. What a monstrously large home on a massive block. It's the first time it's been offered. I'm not sure if this family actually built. I think they might have built it themselves. But this is a solid. After we're all gone, and our grandchildren are gone and we've all, disappeared from this earth, that house
will
still be standing, I've got to tell you, because it's built like a battleship.
Yep.
It's a massive, massive home, lots of accommodation.
Got a lot of street presence, Gary.
It's got a real street presence. It's like a European castle, and I say that, in a modern sense, like an old one, but six
funny, when I look at
bedrooms.
it's not anything near what I think about a European castle.
Well, in that European manner, six bedrooms,
huge home.
5 bathrooms, parking for plenty of cars. I know there's a time they've had boats and cars everywhere, all over that house. Anyway, extraordinary home, late April auction. The details are on the screen. The other one that I'm excited about is number 9 Penley Court, also an upcoming property.
Great address, that one, Gary.
It is a great little spot. A lot of people don't know about Penley
it's
Court.
a tiny little cul-de-sac.
It
and
is.
for the viewers that don't know, it's off Lansdowne Road that pocket between Dandenong Road and Alma Road.
It is.
So that's a great little position, and you're so close to everything. This is in the end of the cul-de-sac, Gary. So it's got a west-facing and a northerly aspect.
We've sold this house before,
I think we've sold a number of homes in Penley Court, and this is a fine example of the architecture of the day.
Yes.
And it's been modernised inside. Gary offers great accommodation, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and off-street parking with a nice block of land with it as well.
Some great houses. You've got a couple of others you want
I
to
do.
review?
I've got a part. Well, whilst we're on the house thing, we may as well keep continuing, because I've got one that's literally just around the corner from our office, Gary. It's in Kilda at 41 Blanche Street.
Yeah, good address.
This is on the corner of Blanche and the intersecting street.
Yep.
And this is a double story, but it's actually got 3 levels.
A modern
and
masterpiece?
there's great views. Well, we could say that, but
I will say that.
I think it's you've got accommodation for, you get the 3 bedrooms with ensuite downstairs. You've got a nice living area with a big terrace upstairs, and then on the 3rd level, you've got beautiful views over the St Kilda skyline.
I love that. Tri-level living right in the heart
At its
of St
best,
Kilda.
Gary, 3 beds, 2 bath, 1 3 to 1 4 3. And that's going to auction. We're going to drag Philip out to St Kilda.
Why not? You've let your hair grow out a little bit.
I have let my hair grow out a little bit.
I like it, I've got to say.
Clearly,
I like
your
it. I like my
eyebrowist
hair.
and my hair
It's a match.
are out of business at the moment.
I've
let it grow out a little bit.
They're sharpening their scissors ready for us, Jim, but we haven't got there for a while. Now, you've got another property.
Got an apartment in
Tennyson
Elwood.
Street.
I like this one, Gary. This is a beautiful representation of
building.
older style Elwood, and we've had some really significant sales in Elwood over the last sort of month. This is a good 2-bedroom, 1 bathroom, beautiful older style, 750 to 825. This one, lock up and rent it out, or move in and enjoy the lifestyle. This is a stone's throw, Gary, from the park, from St Kilda Botanical Gardens.
We've got the Grand Prix coming up too, haven't we? Which weekend is that on?
This weekend. This is like
weekend.
days away, Gary.
Are we working all the inspections around that?
Of course we are, Gary.
Good.
Of course we are.
Glad, lucky thing. One of those small areas, forgot about daylight savings, or didn't quite get the Grand Prix right. That can be a very, very bad area to make. Now, talking about old style, talking about Elwood, I want to talk about a property that we sold. I was had a little bit of a spare hour, so I went to the auction of Southey Street in Elwood, that wonderful block of apartments. Now, that's the first time that block has been offered in, I think it was 70 years. Is it possible that it's been that long? I think so.
Yes, it is. It's
what
more
a great
than possible.
property. 2-street frontage. Was there 5 apartments?
3
there?
apartments to Southey, and 2 apartments on the back to Milton.
Yep.
So this is a great asset to have. This was one of those generational properties, Gary, that
very
comes up
sought
so
after
rarely.
too. Is the price disclosed? Are you aware or not?
Well, it says here that there's an N with undisclosed, so that says it's not undisclosed.
Okay, so
which is an odd sort of, it's a double negative, not undisclosed.
Double
which
negative
means it's
equals
disclosed.
positive. Yeah.
$2,868,000 competitive auction, Gary. And whilst we're talking about competitive auctions, 17 Holroyd Avenue. This, on the other hand, is undisclosed.
Well, the price guide is disclosable, because I think the price guide was somewhere in the high 3s to 4 or thereabouts.
And is it fair to say that we smashed that, Gary?
Are you saying that we sold it for more than that?
Yes, I used a different word, which was more enthusiastic.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to deny the claim that we sold it for more. You can work out yourselves. Very competitive auction.
Yeah,
sold
good
out for
beautiful home.
Sold for way more. Lots of bidders. And it just goes to show now, St Kilda East, $4 million plus
that's
is
old,
happening.
It's old news, Gary.
It's happening.
Old news.
You had an auction just last weekend in
I
Robertson Road. You ran it yourself. Well done.
Beautiful home, and a real
Where
privilege.
Where is Robertson Street?
Robertson Avenue is
I've called it road and street.
Yeah, well, we'll get there.
Get there eventually, yeah.
Hopefully the vendor's not watching, and luckily that she's sold, because she'd be very angry if you're messing up her address, because that is in between Wellington Street and Octavia Street, and just a little bit away from the highway.
Exactly where it is now. Great spot.
So this is a perfect representation of a kind of an old period home, double fronted, beautiful tuck pointing.
Yes.
Loads of accommodation on a block of land of 622 square metres,
Beautiful
Gary. And
parcel
I'm
of land.
pleased to say that we sold it this weekend for $3,090,000.
And what sort of person bought that house?
A young family who lives literally 35 metres from the home, Gary.
There you go. Fantastic. They tried the area, tested it, liked it, and bought it.
And a Carlton supporter.
Oh, right. Now we're talking. Tell us about some of the other sales.
21 Westbury Grove.
The price is undisclosed on that, isn't it?
No, it's not. $3,090,000. We're out there. We're telling the world, Gary. In fact, if you live in that area, you're probably going to get a knock on your door from me telling you that price, or something in your mailbox.
We're going to knock on your door. We're going to ring on your bell.
We're going to tap on their windows too, Gary. Do you like
Let's
that?
go.
Is that what they do?
That's
22
good.
Elm Grove. We auctioned that not so long ago. $1,890,000. That was a beautiful, nice period home. You were there, Gary.
I loved it. Yeah,
you were there. It was good to have you at one of our
delightful
auctions.
seller, delightful buyer,
Nice
great
people.
crowd, great home, and well done to the buyer and seller alike.
We also sold a fabulous block of land on Glen Road in Elwood, 132 to 134 Brighton Road in Elwood, Glen Huntly Road in Elwood,
Yes,
which
the
we
Huntly
sold
Road.
for $2,300,000 to a gentleman who is going to redevelop that. Not sure what he's going to do with it, but I'm sure it'll be special by the end of it. That was a brick pair. And just around the corner from there, we sold 226 Barclay Street in St Kilda for $1,800,000, owned by the one family for a long time.
Well done to Michael Jonas.
He
on
did
that sale.
put that sale together.
Talking about people that are within our organisation, some very exciting news. We have a special guest next edition.
Yes,
Stay
we do,
tuned,
Gary.
Tune in, check it out. A very, very exciting addition to the team, which is going to have tongues wagging in the real estate industry, because it is quite a real estate identity we've got, who has joined the St Kilda office. Gary Pugh and Associates with you and the.
Well, let's not give too much
wonderful
away,
team.
Gary.
Yep.
The lips need to be sealed until our next episode, Gary, because we want to make it a sort of a press release.
Yeah, well, make it exciting. Press release, an exclusive. Exclusive.
Maybe
press
we'll
release.
get the TM to people from TMZ.
Yeah, maybe they
TMZ.
will.
You'd know about TMZ. You'd be very much a TMZ watcher.
Not really. No, not
doubt.
really. Not interested particularly. Now, let's just quickly wrap up the episode, talk a little bit about what's going on in there. And interesting, we've got a big range of properties that we're representing vendors. We've got little studio apartments for $250.
Yes.
And we're excited about those, and we love selling those, and we love getting the best price for the vendors of those properties. But we're going right through to luxury homes, to beautiful properties, to blocks of apartments. We've been very busy with blocks of apartments. And, there's and the reason for that, I think, a number of landlords who have for years been able to get the benefit of the income. They've got some new laws, some new headaches, they can't be bothered. And now there's a new generation of young people that are buying, they're excited, they're enthusiastic, they're getting involved in some of these blocks, they're improving them, some of them are renovating, some of them are holding them and improving them bit by bit. But that's another thing we're busy selling.
Yeah, very busy. In fact, we would be, and I don't mind giving ourselves a
have a
pat
boast.
on the back
Have
here,
a boast.
we are
Boast time.
probably the preeminent seller of
Blocks of apartments,
blocks of apartments on market via auction or however we sell them than anybody else, I think, in Victoria.
And so many in St Kilda and Elwood.
Yeah,
and
hell of a lot.
surrounds,
Land tax is also an issue for people.
Definitely.
I don't want to get political here. There's a potential of an election coming up.
Yep.
Any point to talk about that, Gary? You got a feeling on whether that disrupts the market at all?
Well, interestingly, last time when we had one of the, of course, lobbying parties with significant real estate issues and agendas and changes, that was probably a little bit unsettling for people in the real estate world. And I'm talking more so about buyers thinking maybe if I can't negatively gear, or if there's going to be taxes on, different taxes on super and affect my property. This time around, I think there's a lot less emphasis on that, and I think people are a lot more calm. So I don't think the elections are going to make much difference, but good question. And for those that are out there wanting to get the view of the real estate industry and us within it, I don't think it will make that much difference, really, particularly. You?
I concur, Gary. I think both parties, and it's not really an issue as to where we vote or where we don't vote, but they're not so dissimilar nowadays. There used to be a left and a right, and now they're all quite
left
close
of centre,
to each
right
other.
of centre.
Yeah, whatever you want, we don't want. Whatever,
Exactly
it's all
right.
pretty much the same.
It is a
sort
little
of
bit
stuff.
that way. Everybody's sort of a bit running scared. No one's sort of brave enough to say this is what we believe in. Everyone just wants to get into power at any cost, it feels like and seems. But anyway, good luck to all those people that are standing for office anyway.
Yes.
Big elections coming up. That's a big wrap on this St Kilda and Bayside report. Always a pleasure to be bringing you the real estate news. It's been a while, but it's good to be back on here with you.
Good to be with you, Gary.
Come out of the darkness of COVID and lockdown into a very positive real estate world, and we look forward to continue to bring you all the news. I'm Gary Peer.
I'm Jeremy. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.